So yeah, I thought I had to flee because I thought I was a refugee and all, and I pretty much straight up. And then afterwards, I what happened was we were separated, and this one identified herself pretty much. This was all Masonic symbology. Even the billboards on the way down to the down there had like Masonic wordings, and I don't want to get into them, but and then finally after she says that we had a wording, and guess where I hear my son crying in the next room. This was the biggest lie they caught themselves in. Again, they were lying that my son wasn't there, and I was I heard him crying. I'm like, how dare you? You said moved him to a hospital now, and they're like, he was going to be moved, blah blah blah. Something, always a lie, and I promise you, I raise my right hand, Creator, and they have said this. They have, and they pretty much now showed him to me without me even getting to touch him at this point, and a little basket, car seat they put him in, and she took him away from me then and there. Can you believe this ugliness, twistedness? She's like, you're acting insane because you're not calm. Who will be calm seeing this? Her son ripped from her arms, being in the darkest of hands, and literally premeditated too, because I've been harassed and I am a targeted individual. Nobody gives a damn about them because I'm just alone on this, and his father tries, my companion, he tries to be with us. We want to be reunited for the longest time, and he had to leave after he helped me move on with my life to France, and he hoped I'll come follow him. But again, the borders got sealed off, and I actually had to there was a whole nother story to that, but survived literally alone there too. So now I'm here in Washington State, and I have to go to court in a few hours. And how am I supposed to describe that? I don't care for your documentation, everything you arrested me by, and had no legitimacy because I was kind of bought and sold. And they're like, provide proof that your son is now yours. Provide proof that he has been born here and not in Russia. And they're like, you see, he hasn't been born there. But again, the Mexicans, when they find a illegal Mexican, and these whorishness, they chase down everybody around here. Doesn't matter who they harass, just about everyone. You know, with the Mexicans, they're the opposite for them. They say, now we catch you without an identification, so your son or your daughter is now goes back to Mexico with you because we catch you without one. But for us, it's like, where's your son's, or else he's not going back to Russia with you. They literally are saying those, and in so many ways they have. Yes, I can assure you that, Creator. So, Heavenly Father, yeah, because they like to attach themselves to now. Call them Creator, like I said. And when I was in the jail cell, they had to evaluate me if I can be released finally, and I was stable to walk back because I kept saying in jail, when I went to see my son again, I was put in the biggest test of my life. That night, the Creator had to prepare me. I was either going to be in jail when I went to the visitation to see my son in the flesh, or I was either going to be dead, or I was either probably going to be free. And the Creator said, those are my options for tomorrow if you go see your son. Do you see what I mean? And if I did not do what I had to do and face a certain moral, because how can I put my son in the most narkest of hands back to the wolves or the hyenas, those nasty things? How can I put my son there and simply walk away and schedule the next visit? This was a test no mother has to face, but I did. And after being stolen the way he was on his first birthday, pretty much you can say that, being fed like food. I went to see him. The Creator said, I had many weapons on me. I said, how am I supposed to fight them off and save my son? But the Creator said, get rid of everything that you think is a weapon on you. Don't. Everything that is not weapon or this, don't. So I did that, and then he didn't speak to me in words like that, okay? But then I say, Creator now, and Creator gives me this idea and says, your mother's instinct, make it your weapon, and use my armor. But they went through his armor they went through the shield, and the Creator put his shield on me, So that's all I had, on me was the clothes and the paperwork, and that I was brought in, or whatever they gave to me, which I don't recognize because I'm creation of Mother Earth here on the back in the flesh here. I didn't need your paperwork to be born and to breathe. No documentation can do that. So anyways, now I go and say, given the test, the ultimate test of my existence, my reality. What am I going to do? Feed him back to the wolves? Put him in the hands of those feisty, nasty creatures, knowing really who they are. And they've preyed on me even before. So what am I supposed to do as a mother? And the Creator, my Father, the one who created Mother Earth, is watching me. And his eyes on me. And will I actually stand before him and say, I have to save myself? Oh. But no, I couldn't. So the options he laid out for me were, you could probably face jail time tomorrow, or possibly death, or maybe even freedom, because if you decide to run and get away. So I had to bring my mother's armor. Anyway, I didn't, so all I had was my baby wrap to put my son into, because knowing what I had to do, I breastfed my son there. He didn't recognize me almost. He started crying. It's like he was already a computer board like I am, with his emotions tinkered and all. I know how it feels like to be a computer. I know. They mess with your emotions, but at least I have instinct. Yes, I at least have that, and I can always pump myself up. Ha! I can do that. And that's why it helps the natural elements, So my son, when I laid eyes on him, I run to him. I put my arms around him. He's crying, but I start feeding him, and I hear them whispering, is she allowed to do that? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I say something along the lines like, get away. I don't need you watching me or something. Now they're trying to put what? What are they trying to do now? Is a satanic ritual called putting a barcode on your food supply to claim to be a polynogamism 3 in your reality. Here they are. Here you two are trying to connect and have the moment, that bonding moment, and they want in on it, like they always did actually. So this is called barcoding things. You see, they barcode things to do that. Sometimes you find them on bananas and apples and all sorts of food, but that's because they can't be in there, so they put a message there anyways, and their polynogamism 3 wheel is there now, and you have to enjoy a banana, and always with a barcode on it. So that's kind of what it was, putting a barcode on my son when he's eating from my milk. Now I have to share it, their reality, that experience with them. That's just a sin, and a sin. They're sinister, and they've always tried to do that, because every time I would have so much of a wonderful experience with him, something is like pestering me. I don't know, something always goes off. It's like we're trying to have connection. We don't want to share it with them. They want in on it each and every time. Or I don't even want to say con and connection, because even that word, those con words, they like to use the con words. It's part of their Masonic lingo. So when you go to a court, there's a hidden language board where when you say certain things, you can actually imprison yourself without even realizing why. Because in jail, what do when they assign you someone to defend you, and then they assign someone to attack you, and then that one who's assigning it all is called the judge. And they're the ones giving their own dogs, one to this side and one to this, and here you are, and you have one of their puppies they gave to you assigned, called a self-defense attorney. No, Holly. It's a Masonic name too. The whole words. Remember those Hor words? Hor goes back to ancient Egypt. God Horus, sun god. But in ancient Egypt, all them gods and goddesses, they were simply just a corporation they put on, and then they put their own dogs, that somebody that's one of theirs, to control it, like a gatekeeper. Like they had a corporation called Horus, the sun, the stolen from the original one. So they wanted to steal my Heavenly Father's role. So they put some sort of statue called Horus, and then they filled them shoes. They always like to steal the shoes of others that don't belong to them. And now it's called corporation, like a dead corpse. Take an empty bottle, and they fill it with one of theirs. Not the original. So anything to deal with ancient Egypt, to clarify, is always something, one of theirs, corporations. Like a mummy is a corporation. It's empty and it gets filled up. And they suck the life force out of it. That's a good word to put in. Life and force, Masonic words. So again, I can't stand to go to the judge. I fire that defense attorney. She keeps calling me to get into my case and all. I'm going to have to say I'm a creation of nature, and I have to always defend my Heavenly Father, the one who created Mother Earth, and say, how do you judge me? How do you? And you have no right to stand even on top of me, and nor do I say I understand, because no, I do not. Because that's a Masonic lingo to where they can stand on top of you. No thanks. Okay, I'll come back. 10. Okay, 10 minutes. So, when I see my son, his soul is literally drained. I fed him so much all year. He was charged up and just growing, grow, and growing. And his soul was like literally drained. And I feed him. He brightens up. He begins to recognize and get along with me now. But it's like he's still controlled. But after we have our moments and stuff, they tell us to wrap things up. But I know it's either jail, death, or maybe freedom. So there's that one security guard, and the one that brought my son there in her black SUV car. And with the license plate BZB8600. So, yeah, it's always Masonic wording, even with the license plate. So, anyways, there was 2 of them, and the big fat female one, she said I assaulted her because she latched on to my to me a bit, and I twisted her off, and now I stand 340 days for that, and possibly a $5,000 fine for that. What mother will go